so much has happened between the first presentation that we did here on this platform compared to the one that we're going to do this tonight. And it's a really great opportunity to provide everybody a really good update, but also look at where the campaign started, the process we went through, and what we managed to achieve to get a successful outcome to this campaign, where we have managed to get shark fin imports and exports banned from the UK, which is fantastic news. So our campaign from Shark Guardian was called Finspire Change, and it was launched at a time to really inspire the public to get behind a subject that as divers we are very connected to, and it's something that we all feel very passionately and strongly about, especially when it comes to conservation and especially when it comes to sharks, because they're such an iconic figure and exciting animal to dive with or to see and explore. And it's a topic of international media and news that everybody recognizes. And in May this year, in fact, on the 12th of May this year, the UK government launched a campaign of their own. It was called the Action for Animals campaign or plan. And within that plan, there was, following our successful campaign, there was a section added in that really focused on the shark fin imports and exports. And in this case, it fell under their protection of animals abroad section, in which it stated that prohibiting the import and export of detached shark fins to protect the iconic shark species was to go ahead and be part of this large action plan for animals by the UK. It was also part of the Queen's speech recently, and it really was also recently, the petition was discussed in Parliament on the 7th of June earlier this month. And it's really exciting to see where it has come from the beginning. So my name is Brendon Sing, just to formally introduce myself better, and I'm originally from South Africa. And my background in shark and research goes back to when I was quite young. I'm a professional diver myself, and I became a diver when I was around 16 years old, with the purpose of wanting to dive and see sharks. If my parents would have allowed me, I would have probably started sooner. But you know, when I saw my first shark, it really changed my life. And when I saw my first shark, it did exactly the opposite thing that I thought it would do. It was so scared of me that it swam away within 3 seconds. And I realized in those 3 seconds that everything that everybody told me about sharks was completely wrong. And it really motivated me to attend university and get involved in shark research in South Africa. And I worked with research projects with great white sharks for a number of years. And as I progressed and became more qualified and going into the professional area of diving, I also tended to lead a lot of shark diving expeditions around South Africa and different parts of Africa as well, including Mozambique and going to the Indian Ocean Islands. And then I started traveling abroad. So collectively, I've been diving and researching sharks for about 25 years now. And it's a growing deep passion. It's still growing all the time. And even now, after thousands and thousands of dives and seeing sharks countless times, every single time I see a shark, it's almost like seeing it for the first time again. You still get that giddy feeling that you get when you see a shark. And it's just so inspiring to see such a graceful, beautiful animal up close. And that really motivated us to start Shark Guardian together with my partner, Liz. She's from the UK. She's homebred Nottingham girl, and together we started Shark Guardian as a charity in 2013, and with the aim of shark marine conservation projects worldwide. So even though we're a registered UK charity, we do have various projects around the world, so including the UK, of course, the Middle East, Africa, and various parts around Asia. The charity has 4 main operational arms of let's say, categories that we like to focus in. Those are conservation, education, research, and expeditions. Under conservation, we run various campaigns, including the one we're talking about tonight, to ban the import and export of shark fin in the UK. We're also collaborating a lot with other organizations for certain campaigns, such as the European ban of shark fin, which I'll talk about later in this presentation too. We have another campaign where we're working on getting airlines to ban the transportation of shark fin worldwide. And we're also working on campaigns where we're collaborating with, again, other organizations with regards to the MSC, and also looking at protecting mako sharks from commercial fishing, get them greater protection. If you'd like to see more about our ongoing campaigns, you can always go visit our website at sharkguardian.org. Go on to conservation and you'll see a list of our current campaigns, and you can see how you can participate and support as much as you can. Education is a very large part of what we do, and even before COVID, we were doing a lot of in-person presentations to schools and dive centers and communities worldwide, targeting between 30,000 and 100,000 people a year. During COVID, that focus really shifted a lot more to doing online presentations, which was actually quite a blessing because it really allowed us to use technology to its fullest and really grow our reach to places around the world that we didn't really know was possible before. So now we're giving presentations to schools in Canada and South Korea and all corners of the world from the comfort of your home, but also still having that same or nearly that same effect, and still driving that enthusiasm, especially with kids when it comes to sharks, which has been really, really amazing. We lead or participate in a number of shark research projects, citizen science-based, and we also support research projects with sharks through certain universities in the UK. And then the part that we love the most, of course, is the expeditions. We run a number of shark diving expeditions around the world to see sharks. Many of these expeditions have been put on hold, unfortunately, due to COVID. But it's something that we're looking forward to as the world reopens up again to travel. One of those is the sardine run in South Africa that we normally arrange every year around July, to doing trips in Komodo in Indonesia. And that list is going to grow more and more towards places like the Maldives and possibly Palau and some other amazing places, including the Red Sea too. And again, if you want to see anything more about our expeditions, do check our website. Many of these expeditions are very educational and research-based. So why are sharks important? And it's important to discuss this so we understand the great need to make sure that we do all get involved in shark conservation in whatever way it's possible, because sharks are one of the most important species on the planet. As apex predators, they maintain the top of the ocean food chain, maintaining the species and diversity below them. So ultimately, by protecting the oceans and the marine life within it, sharks really do kind of protect the oceans that we all need to survive. And they've been doing this already for the last 430 million years. We have already seen in many places around the world where sharks have been removed, the entire ecosystem does collapse. And it's not just a theory, it's fact. It does happen. So healthy oceans means we need healthy sharks populating it. One of the most amazing quotes that I love from Dr. Sylvia Earle is that the one thing you should fear more than an ocean full of sharks is an ocean without any sharks, because that would create an incredible negative impact in the ecosystems and the way the oceans operate. So sharks are massively important for our oceans. The problem is, of course, that over 100 million sharks are being killed every year. And the conservative number is between 75 million to 100 million. But the reality number could be even double of what 100 million is, because we don't always count what is not reported, because we can't. And there is a lot of illegal shark fishing happening around the world. So based on a conservative 100 million sharks a year, that's 11,000 sharks per hour. That's 183 sharks every minute that we are doing to one of the most important species in our oceans today. And the shark fin trade is really driving this shark finning industry, or the shark fishing industry. The trade of the fin is the most valuable part. Much like how poachers in Africa kill rhinos for their horns or elephants for their ivory, the shark body itself is worth much less than just the fin. And it is not only an Asian problem, and the reason why I mention this is when we do speak to the public and we give other online presentations, a lot of people think it is only an Asian-based problem, and it's not. It is a worldwide problem. In fact, Europe will make up a third of the world's shark fin industry that is exported back to Hong Kong. The top 3 countries in the world are Indonesia, Spain, and India. So Spain, as a European country, is one of the biggest exporters of shark fin around the world. This is a map from an Oceania report in 2010 that just shows you some of the hotspots of the countries that export shark fin to the main base of Hong Kong. And as you can see, it's quite high. Shark fin imports from the UK. The UK is not a massive exporter of shark fin, but between 2017 and 2018, 85 tons of shark fin was exported from the UK to a destination within Asia, most likely going to be Hong Kong, which is still a substantial number. And before our campaign, one of the things that most people didn't realize is, yes, the UK did allow shark fin imports as well, where most people wouldn't have believed it. In fact, during our campaign, when people were seeing some of the stats and the information we were sharing, UK residents were gobsmacked that, what? We allow shark fin imports? Like, why? It doesn't make any sense. But yes, it did. And basically, it wasn't very clear, but there was an opportunity for people to do so through a certain law within the border force. If you looked at their information leaflet about bringing food products into the UK, there was this section under fish and products, and basically it said this: you're allowed to bring up to 20 kilograms combined weight per person of fish and fish products, including these items. And then it said all the weight of one fish, whichever is highest. Fish can be dried and cooked and cured. So the key things were the 20 kilograms and dried. And unfortunately, shark fin was included under this definition of dried fish. And yeah, it meant that one person could bring in 20 kilograms of dried shark fin into the UK without declaring it and without needing any checks on it. And they wouldn't even be taxed on it. There was no import duty on it, which was the crazy thing. So just to put that into perspective, 1 kilogram of dried shark fin, well, when the shark fin is dried, it's very light. It doesn't weigh very much. So you can get a lot of fin for 1 kilogram. And in this case, our estimation from a study done in Hong Kong showed that 1 kilogram is about 24 fins. And that could be approximately 3 sharks. And we look at this by looking at the fins that is generally used by the industry for shark fin soup. And these are the first and second dorsal fins, the lower caudals, the anals, the pelvic fins, and the pectoral fins. And so then 20 kilograms of shark fin would be 480 fins that somebody could bring into the UK legally, which is about 60 dead sharks. Now, I don't know how many have ever been diving in places around the world and I wonder have you ever been anywhere where you've been in the ocean and just looked at 60 sharks in front of you? Believe me, it's like looking at a school of sharks in front of you. That's just like covers your view. It is incredible. And one person is allowed to bring in 60 dead sharks worth of fins into the UK without it being declared or anything. And that's crazy. Now, another point of this is that if you don't have to declare it, there's something wrong there too, because again, according to law, anything that's above the value of 390 pounds, you have to declare. But if you're bringing in 20 kilograms of shark fin, that value is well over 4,000 pounds. So there was also a big question mark about a tax evasion when it came into bringing in this 20 kilogram of shark fin. The other thing that also made this very, very important, or as a big threat, is that if you're bringing in this shark fin and is not being declared or even checked, how do we know, or how is it monitored that the sharks that are protected that are listed under CITES that you are not allowed to trade parts of their fins, including the basking sharks or great white and whale sharks, or any of the other number of sharks over here listed under CITES that you are not allowed to trade internationally. How do you know that their fins and their products are not being transported in this 20 kilograms of shark fin? So that would actually mean that you're bringing illegal products into the UK. So this loophole really opened up a can of worms. And it was a good can of worms for us to really launch a campaign for. Now, in 2019, there was another UK petition. It wasn't ours, but it was a petition that raised over 10,000 signatures. I think it was in the 15,000 range. And it did get a response from the government at that time. And the government basically said that although they're strongly opposed to shark finning, because they do have a fins naturally attached policy within the UK, that they do support stronger international controls. However, while in the EU, it was not possible to unilaterally ban the importation of shark fins into the UK at that time. So with the UK, and thanks to Brexit, in this one-time occasion, it was an opportunity for Shark Guardian to launch a brand new campaign and a brand new petition based on these four things. The UK was finally leaving the EU and something could possibly be done about this topic. This personal allowance of 20 kilograms of shark fin being allowed to be imported was a chance for us to really raise awareness and inform people in the public that this was possible and this was happening. And the fact that the UK was unable to enforce the CITES Appendix 2 species and also bring up the possible tax fraud. And based on these four things, this was a very good solid base for launching our campaign. It was started in March 2020 by Robin Gallagher, who's a Shark Guardian ambassador and a university student. Then by May 2020, we launched a campaign which was heavily social media based and also produced because it was at the height of COVID, and COVID had really taken stronghold within the UK and Europe and also within Asia. And during lockdowns, there was a lot of hesitation whether a campaign would be justified and be successful. However, we thought that, well, within the current situation, there would be a lot of people spending more time online. So it is a really great way, an opportunity to raise awareness and drive this campaign completely based online, doing no in-person campaigns or events or anything like that, which are your traditional, let's say, tools of gaining traction on campaigns such as this. The key thing was reaching out to a number of other organizations and getting their support and getting them on as partners, reaching out to the diving organizations, which of course BSAC was greatly supportive in. And we really launched our campaign based on a number of graphics and designs that we came up with. We also partnered with a number of amazing artists and illustrations that came out to help us with some of these illustrations you see on the slide right now, which are immensely effective. A lot of stories that we led on the campaign too. And it started off slowly, but it did gain traction. It did gain a lot of popularity as we went through from June and then July and August. And then we keep in mind, we had until September to reach 100,000 signatures if we wanted this petition to go to Parliament. So that was at times a little bit stressful, and at times we were worried that we wouldn't be able to get the minimum number, but it did actually happen. So by the time the petition closed in September, we reached over 115,000 signatures. And during that during the petitions, we did get a number of replies or responses from the government. But the responses from the government were still pretty much the standard, that yet they are greatly against shark finning, and they're looking at championing more initiatives to control the shark fin imports to help give sharks a greater protection. But it was just the general feedback. There wasn't anything concrete. However, until the petition actually was successful, did we start making a lot more advancements with the government on where to go forward. Zach Goldsmith from DEFRA, basically he congratulated us on the success of the petition, to ban the import of shark fins in the UK, and they recognized the role we played, and it was fantastic to have that open dialogue and to really move forward with this campaign in a direction that we thought would be really positive and also have a positive outcome at the end. So about 2020 in December, the UK launched a call for evidence. And this was a pretty big call because by that time, even in September, when we reached the 100,000 signatures, we didn't really get a debate date. So we knew that, okay, we reached the exact number of petitions needed for the petition to go to Parliament, but we didn't get a date of when that will happen. And it just kept on waiting and waiting and waiting. So to actually get the government to launch a call for evidence in December, it was really exciting because it showed that the petition raised enough interest and it made enough, it took enough notice that they actually wanted to do something more. So in that call for evidence, they reached out to organizations and the public and scientists and researchers to get their information regarding both imports and exports on shark fin, the impacts on the fishing industry, the conservation industry. It was a substantial request for evidence, and it took us some time to provide that information. So it was together with Shark Guardian, a number of other organizations and individuals and researchers that we all collaborated with during the campaign. We all kind of collaborated and individually submitted these various call for evidence submissions. And this was a really big step in the right direction. I think this was a big part of what ultimately ended in the result of the UK banning the import and export of shark fin. And again, this was acknowledged by DEFRA that our petition that we led through the campaign was a direct result of this call for evidence. So we had that in writing. Between January and April, there really wasn't much coming back from the government in terms of what was happening. And we did kind of stay in contact with certain members of parliament and MPs by using postcards and emails and Twitters. And we also had some communication further with Lord Zach Goldsmith during that process. But between January and April, there really wasn't much happening. And we were getting a bit concerned because we still didn't even have a debate date for the petition in Parliament. But then in May, we had the announcement and we had communication directly from the government that the UK was going to ban the import and export of detached shark fin. And it was going to be part of the UK's next big plan and campaign, which was Action for Animals. And there is a wonderful section of this on the UK government website, so do go have a look at that, because it does include the shark fin and import and export ban, but it also does include a lot of other important initiatives regarding pets and also farm animals too. And it really does make us proud that the UK is taking such a strong step towards protecting the welfare of animals across the UK in many different initiatives, and it's wonderful. It's really good news. On the 7th of June, finally, the petition was debated in UK Parliament, and Elliot Colburn, an MP, he basically came out with an opening statement which included, "I'm incredibly grateful to the petition's creator, Robin Gallagher, for taking the time to speak to me last week, why he started this petition in partnership with the charity Shark Guardian, and I pay tribute to them both for their incredible efforts." If you'd like to watch the full debate in Parliament, you're welcome to go ahead and scan this QR code, and you can watch the full debate on the YouTube channel. If you go to the UK government website of petitions, you'll also be able to find links to the full transcript of that campaign. Sorry, of that Parliament debate. And the Parliament debate was unanimous. There wasn't one single vote against the move to include the ban of import and export of shark fin within the action plan of animals. So it really was a really great win. And I think a couple of things to keep in mind here about this campaign and the success of this petition is, number one, it really showed that petitions do work. And I know that there's so many different petitions out there when it comes to so many, a variety of causes, whether it's whether it's protection of animals or conservation or something to do with humanity. There is a lot of people sometimes lose faith in petitions, but in this case, this is evidence that petitions do work, and the opinions of the public do matter. And if there is enough people who get behind these petitions and show their support, and it is shared correctly, and it's raised awareness in the right way, really great things can be done. So please don't lose faith in petitions. And again, if you kind of join our social media, the petitions that we believe are vital and most important will continue to be shared. And if you follow our social media channels, you can always go ahead and support those, the ones that you feel that feel most matter the most to you. This is also a really good time to bring up the point that there is another campaign that's called Stop Finning EU. And it's a campaign to ban shark fin trade in Europe, essentially. And the success of the UK campaign, and with the recent implementation of the shark fin ban in the UK, with the Action Plan of Animals, is a fantastic model, and also a role model stance that the UK has taken, that we hope that places like the that the EU will follow too. Now, their target is far higher. They're looking at a target of building 1 million petitions or votes, as they say. And they have until 31st of January 2022, next year, to get that. At this time, they're roughly around between 25 and 30% of what is needed. And in this case for Europe, each European country needs to reach a minimum threshold. And I think right now it is only France and Portugal that have met those thresholds. So again, in this case, if there is anybody who is a EU citizen or a European citizen, please do take the time to have a look at our website and to go on and join this petition. And you can also scan the QR code over here. And wouldn't it be wonderful, now that the UK has actually gone this way, to join countries like Canada who have done the same thing? And if we were to get Europe to do exactly the same thing and actually ban the trade of shark fin, that would have a massive impact on the shark fin trade, because Europe is responsible for about 1/3 of the shark fin trade that goes to Asia. So if this petition was successful, it would really have big impact. One of the things that people have been asking us about our campaign for the UK is that, well, you know, how much good has it done anyway? It's not like the UK was very big on it anyway. And there might be some truth there. I mean, the UK wasn't a large importer and exporter, except for the 85 tons that was shipped between 2017 and 18. And maybe the UK wasn't a big importer either, but it did allow people to do it. So more than having a massive impact on the trade, it was more about setting a standard. It was about setting a principle, and actually saying that, no, this is wrong. This trade shouldn't exist in this, in modern day time. But to some degree, I do believe that it would have made an effect. And if anything, it would have sent a very big message out there that the shark finning industry is wrong and it shouldn't be happening, especially in the trade of actual shark fin. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that it is very specific. In the UK, it says detached shark fin. So whether the entire body or the entire carcass of shark fin is going to be exported, imported, this remains to be seen. And this does open up an opportunity for further investigation, because it doesn't end here. There's more to come. So the key things that we need to look at going forward is to make sure that the plan to import and export the shark fins into and out of the UK is enforced, that policies are put in place, and to make sure that these policies are also then enforced. And those are some of the big things that's going to be coming up after the campaign. And that's what we're looking forward to right now. So if we can make that happen in Europe as well, then that's going to be a pretty significant impact into the entire shark finning industry itself. So that almost comes to the end of my presentation, and it does allow us an opportunity now to open the discussions up. And if anybody would like to now ask any questions or add any comments, please do so and feel free.